everybody aware the thing automatically videotapes, so everything we say will be on a permanent record.
It is. Oh, right.
Oh, it is.
Move that.
Oh.
Yeah. Here's the random hair
Oh, look at that bump in my hair. Gotta fix that.
accent. So lights at the day.
I'm making everybody laugh.
Oh,
Wait, I don't really want to.
So,
Yeah. I would
Roll the motorcycle down to the end. Call his friend and say, turn the lights on. Right back.
Look at this. Four of us are here, even though we could have a Zoom option.
Yeah, and
Still.
that two participants, so, and those are just me. I'm not
Good,
good.
let's go. 30 minutes per tier. And then Brussels. We hit it. It's like one save spot. You can get going as fast as you can. Just.
Oh my God.
Supposed to move or fall and bicycle and freaking dude. So, yeah, it's just. It's a do not track.
Ah.
Highways. It's just, it's two of them.
It's runways.
Bad.
So, John and Amy said they were gonna join us via Zoom, so I'm waiting for attendees to pop up on here. And
Amy?
John and Amy, and I had a positive and productive phone conversation with Cecilia today, and she's sending in the resignation.
Okay.
Let's say that before we start,
Do you put out a
opinion. So
request for somebody else then?
once it gets received, then the town knows that they're going to be doing stuff.
Oh, boy, who made copies of everything?
Well, I made copy just of that, and Heather made copies of everything that she sent us.
Yeah, I brought one hard copy, and if people want more,
I had them all open on
Yeah.
the call for proposals. I was thinking.
Well, this is the pieces that I brought in hard copy were, the drafts that we had. written
Yeah.
before. So I was comparing it to the one. I am so glad you found that. I'm like,
That's good.
it's very good.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, I was thinking, there was so much work Christina et al. Put into that. But we just get a professional this is very expert. This is very focused, expert area.
Well, I was comparing what we wrote for drafts and the maps that. We're all have to go over this again, and we're actually probably about 60% of the way there. Because the first 12 maps in the Clinton NRI are what's easily available online.
Yeah. But in addition to that, when I was thinking about these, oh God, well, I should wait.
Yes, wait until actually time to start. I'm also just gonna say I got a stinky note from the town clerk that said that, I've submitted I've accepted your minutes and put them into the records, but you should know they said meeting notes at the top and not minutes, and therefore please use the template. And I was just like. Then that's why I'm saying the fact that you're listed as a Republican on the website, it's like, okay, I'm not. What? Town clerk office and I are like,
Me, a Republican,
I'm glad to hear it.
pretty hilarious.
That's great.
Welcome to the club. Oh, I should tell my sister she would have a good laugh because she's a Republican.
Oh.
Give her that satisfaction.
Right.
she and her husband think New York pizza is the best, and I actually moved here. No, it's actually New Haven Pizza. So my daughter and I decided for Christmas, we're getting one of them, a Pepe's Pizza shirt, and Sally's for the other.
That'd be a great area to have an apartment. So you're walking across your street.
Oh my God. Or dangerous
Yeah.
from our waistline.
We, the football team here in town, we always, if you went to all the practices, they would buy you your own large pizza. I made it one year. It was really Sally's is excellent.
Yep. Okay.
We're just waiting for those guys
Yeah,
to start when they have one.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Um,
There's a document, I don't know if we could actually use something from another state, you know, we have the one from Clinton, New York, but online there's a product creating a natural resources inventory, a guide for communities in the Hudson River estuary. But this is done by Cornell. Yeah, it's very informative.
We have actually, somebody wrote one of those for the town of Madison, a group of,
Yes.
well, there's Yale and then there's Quinnipiac. So
Oh.
there's a bunch of Quinnipiac law students that wrote one.
Okay.
Well,
So weird to see this.
it's like, don't look that way. Send just something.
Smart, 7:33.
Yep, okay, let's see. Hey. Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Yay!
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? This is, okay, so, yeah, okay, now I'm getting attendees and panelists on here, so it's good. And now I have to sign myself back in because I was in and then I accidentally rescheduled. I accidentally unsent myself.
Still have a seat for you here.
I intend to be in person more often than not, but this is just ended up being a nutty week.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're among nuts. You're
In like company.
And I'm going to. Yeah, because we don't see me in more than one place. But, okay, let me just send a message to John and tell him to text me when he gets on. If I don't see him. Although he should be automatically connected. Okay, but anyway, let us call the meeting to order at 7:35. We have, yay, a quorum. And I will just since we're speaking of quorum, I've already told a couple of people in the room, but as of 3 o'clock this afternoon, Cecilia has told me she's sending in her resignation letter. So that means we will actually have 2 openings. And according to the town clerk's office, we currently have 3 Republicans. That means we would have 3 Republicans, a Democrat, and an undecided, which is unaffiliated, yes. So, so Democrats should actually be able to get in. So hopefully they will, they haven't said anything about your application recently to you, have they, Amy?
No, and I was I was actually looking in my Google, in my email, because I was going to follow up. I mean, it's been over 2 months.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I would say definitely follow up because, and you can say, I understand there's now 2 vacancies.
yep. Okay.
Hopefully Cecilia will CC me when she sends that in, so I'll know for sure. But I know that at the moment, there's definitely 1 vacancy and we definitely need 2 Democrats because we're supposed to be balanced. So we should have as many Democrats as we do Republicans. So, okay. I have approval of the prior minutes on here. I don't think I ever actually sent them out to you guys, did I? So I'm just gonna table that until next month. And this is a running issue with me and also the clerk's office.
You can also let me know.
Yes,
Since I'm supposed to be
yes,
secretary.
yeah.
If
Yeah,
you want
yeah, well,
to
what
know-
happened was you sent them to me and I realized that I never actually had sent them to the town clerk's office and I didn't send them
Okay,
out to you guys. So yes, when you send them to me in the future for, okay, just, send them to everybody. That
okay.
would be awesome. Okay, and technically, I don't, the only person we've got here. Oh, there's another attendee. Promoting you to panelist. I hope. Come on. Yeah, here he comes. Can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. Okay. Um, oh. Oh, there he is. Yay. Okay, I love it when everybody solves the issues faster than I can type in a text. But, so just say something so I know we can actually hear
I'm
you.
here, can you hear me?
Yes, now I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Alright.
Okay. Hey. Okay, so we were just saying, so Amy, you're the only one that would qualify as public comment. Is there anything you
Yes.
want to say to us before we get you on officially?
No, I don't think so.
Public comment. Natural resource inventory. I apologize for my lack of technical Google foo. And Terry asked me today if there was any way we could get a doesn't have a Google account. You don't have a Google account, do you? A Gmail account?
Maybe I established one when Amy sent me something before, but I'm not sure because
Okay.
when I tried to, I was able to open up all of the documents you sent.
Okay,
but I was trying to figure out, can you make comments on them? I don't know the whole process.
Okay.
Of how to use.
So,
Yeah, you can.
So you and I need a thing. I was doing it, I was at least figuring out that how to check, make the spelling corrections and stuff, but not how to make comments on the side, so.
Right.
There's a little tutorial it's gonna be
When
required.
I clicked on something like edit and it wasn't really, it was something like that. It was a function that said password required.
You know why? Maybe you didn't have it, so that we were also editors.
That could be. And since it's still in Christine's name, I'm gonna have to,
Yeah.
make contact with her. But I, hopefully at least, so we'll get that done before we actually start writing down. If anybody, I actually was able to review the Clinton, New York NRI. And I'm actually going to pull up that and do a share screen thing because. As you open. I thought that it was. Excellent, it's recent, it's from 2024. And there was a lot on it that. I basically went through and I made myself notes in the table of contents while I was reviewing the thing, but. Go back to. See, I can actually see the view, get it back to single pages, probably not. But what I wanted to point out was that they had the section on how to use the NRI. Which I almost want to steal in its entirety. It's not something that I had actually seen before. Also, the part they had on the map, let's see, that's the next maps. So they had their base map. They had the aerial image of the town, and they had the community setting and the settlement history. And I thought that might be a really nice place to work with the Historical Society. And then they had the section on climate, and I was like, oh, none of the other NRIs I've ever read had a section on climate, and boy, is that important right now. So, yes.
Did want to say that the most of them did mention climate threat.
Okay, good.
So that was for me, a very important thing is to talk about climate threat and to get in the analysis of natural resources that should be protected. I saw that in one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so but what I liked about this section was it said, here are some, changes and then they actually got data, and I'm like, since the town actually has a consultant right now supposedly working on a community resilience plan update. I'm hoping they are actually getting this kind of background data, so I checked with Erin about that, and she's like, I haven't heard from the consultant since May. I'm going to hardwire that, I contact them tomorrow. But I thought that the talk about the changes in the pattern and the extreme wet versus drought and
Yes.
that stuff, and also the fact that they referenced the New York State climate policy, and Connecticut does have a climate policy. So we should probably reference that too. But then when we moved on to the and so there's all the data boxes. I loved the little data boxes.
Yeah.
Like and then the point that, as the heavy downpours become more frequent, Clinton's wetlands may contribute to the resilience because, so it's like, yeah, little things like that.
One thing I think that's important there is being able to visualize the data, having boxes, having images, having verbiage allows all kinds of readers to absorb the information because we all learn differently. It's an important.
Yeah. Yeah, so then the maps that they used, like they had the topography and elevation one, they had the base map, it had the roads, it had, things that would allow you to orient yourself in the town, but then they used that under everything, but then just having the topography and elevation, which they then showed with the steep slopes. And I was like, oh, this is all data that we can pull straight off of the CTEO website or the other state GIS website.
Yeah.
This is all available. And what I liked about that particular map was that they did it with 5 to 10% slope, 10 to 15, so you could actually pick out the areas. And that also, I liked that because if you have multiple classes, it allows us to actually change the regulations really easily without because like I had a conversation with Jim Nordgren, who writes NRIs for a living. Amy, when we were talking about the tree stuff, and he said one of the towns he worked with changed their steep slope definition from 15% to 20%, and they were able to protect like 30% of the town from development just by making that very minor tweak in the regulations.
So I think what I also saw was that a lot, they will automatically use all the GIS maps that are there.
No, but I'm saying that all of the ones that were in this report, like I'm saying, the first 12 to 15,
They come from.
they
right,
come from,
the
they
state
can
of
just come from the
Connecticut.
state. We can make
But they
tweaks
do
to
that.
them, yeah.
The experts will pull those all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
All we have to do is state it in our proposal, what we want in there.
yes,
Make sure that they use all of those maps.
yes.
In
So-
that they're using updated information.
Yes, and that they, well, or that they at least mark on each map what when the data was collected, because things like the steep slopes, that can be from the 1980s, those haven't changed. Where the endangered species are located might be a little different. Their bedrock geology, because that was great. Then I was like, basically, as I say, as I just sort of scroll through here, looking at the different maps. Surficial geology, again, straight off of the state website. But nice description of why the different classes are important and
Soil type.
and the soil types in terms of their sort of septic system suitability.
Yeah.
That was some
So we,
and they just had it built right in there. Then they had their water resources were broken out really nicely. There's the drinking water maps, and I was thinking, we've got we basically have to treat north of Green Hill separately from south of Green Hill and Madison because you have public water
Yeah.
downtown and wells uptown. Clinton said they had just wells, but in terms of aquifer protection and everything, the mapping was excellent. And their descriptions were excellent. And their land cover map, I was like, oh, we can get that straight off the NEMO website. I even had it pulled up here. Flood hazard areas. They had, let's see if I can get down to the regional forest. Land cover was great. Quality. Yeah, like I say, all of the first 12 maps absolutely we have the data. Then it got interesting. They had like, here's watershed. Okay, those are the water, wetlands. Habitats and wild. When they got into the habitats and wildlife, it got into slightly more analysis. But like they had that. So this was the large forests map. And they were saying that they actually, the dark green blobs are protected. No, how did that happen? Sorry. It's not the shade, that's not the screen I want to be sharing. Ah. I should, but if you can tell me, show me. There, okay, that's the one I'm supposed to be sharing. There we go. Is it back?
Was.
There it is, okay. So that's the dark ones are the permanently protected like state forest stuff. And then the light green was where they were connecting. I thought that that was a really interesting idea because we have several state forest parcels in Madison and so much forest. They also have wetlands, the wetlands habitats, the migratory fish path. The only piece in here that I was like, I don't know how easily we're gonna get it was the endangered species. They have actually endangered species lists. And I'm like, I'm not thinking that Deep is actually just gonna let us list what endangered species might be living in Madison.
Boy,
Why wouldn't they?
But then when you ask them for data on, okay, what's living in this blob, because we have a proposal for it, they don't necessarily tell you, they just say that yes, there's a threatened species living in this area. And yes, based on your application, you may have impact on it, so you need to change it this way, or yeah, no, it's not, what you're planning to do isn't gonna bother anything. They are very wary about letting out where exactly different species.
Is that what this map?
Yes, that's the one
Okay.
that Terry handed out.
Okay.
There's
Well,
the natural diversity database blocks. So. So they may give it to us. It's gonna be how takes the request and how the person's feeling on that particular day. I don't know. But I also liked their the discussion, the threats to biodiversity when they had the pollinator. And then the invasive species and the overabundance of certain native. Then there was the section.
Well, that's interesting too.
Yeah, the
abundance of
white deer, yeah,
particular-
like white-tailed deer was their
Yeah.
specific example, but, that, geese, swans are technically an invasive species, but, yeah, I'm sorry, mute swans are not native to North America. The section on land use, they had a whole thing on zoning, and I'm like, that's not our jam for right now, I don't think. Unless somebody else has an opinion, but then they had the whole thing they did on zoning. And
Yeah.
how, I'm like, for our first go round, I'm happy to leave that the plan of conservation and development.
Okay.
But I did like their analysis on
And I-
climate resilience for biodiversity.
And
Is that-
I think one of the other towns, it might have been Branford. There was just like in the introduction reference to planning and zoning using as
Right.
one of the intents of this inventory is to work with planning and zoning. So I think that's key, but
I've seen that as well on different ones that I pulled up today,
Yeah.
that it's to be disseminated amongst different groups within the local government that would be able to use the information and should use it. And it prompted me to think that maybe we could have a presentation after this is complete.
Oh,
To
absolutely.
planning and
Yes,
zoning.
we have to present it to them because this is one, as they say, we are advisory and this is one of the reports that we are supposed to be providing them
Yeah,
as well as the state.
but I think it might have been in Christine's initial draft that it says to disseminate to them, like,
Yeah.
electronically, but I think an impact would be, here we are.
Yeah.
and here's the data,
Yeah,
and.
y'all did the
really
POCD and here's the piece that we're, 15 years behind in getting to you, but
We don't mention that.
yeah, we finally did it. It's really, really good. The one thing, they also had the sections towards the end on agricultural resources and public lands. Let's see, maps. Then. That's the zoning map, and I'm like, yeah. Then they had, oh, here we go. They actually lumped agricultural resources and forestry. And they're in their town, anybody is over 50 acres. Yeah, they were like, they can do logging however they sort of felt like it sounded like, but, they listed all their farms, they listed their important farmland areas, they had the soils. We have farmland soil maps from the state level and we have, farm addresses. So that's gonna be pretty easy to do. But there's in terms of the public lands and what's protected, we have a draft on that, but those are a couple that are gonna need some serious review. Because they've been changing. But anyway, I found, I think that the Clinton one is actually an awesome template for us. So thank you for finding it. I think couple of things that they didn't have that, we had in ours were dark sky, because they're a teeny tiny farming community up in the Hudson Valley. I think that, we had the Guilford NRI that we looked at in the past. And given the issues we're having with light pollution, I think dark sky is one section that we need to include. And so I printed out some of the stuff that was on, that we have done in the past, but is not actually in the NRI drafts.
One thing that would be really good is to have, when we do have a firm that we work with, that we put in our proposal that we'd like to see a first draft
Oh, yeah.
and then go back with.
Probably first draft and go out to the public at that point for, hello,
For
people, what have
adding
we missed?
everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I just did lots
we-
of talking. Somebody else say something, yes.
Mayor, do we know who Clinton worked with?
Well, it's Clinton, New York, so
No,
they
I
work,
know.
yeah,
I
but
know,
they worked at Vassar University, they worked with, their cooperative extension program, I don't know that they had an actual, they must have actually had a full-blown consultant, but,
I assume they did. I mean, I wonder if there's a way we can find out.
yeah. And I've been told there are a couple of people in Connecticut that are working on this sort of thing still. Erin says that she's the two consultants that she's currently working with, she's probably never going to work with again, so hopefully they aren't on the list of NRI people. So let's talk about it. What, is there anything else that we think that we might want to put into an NRI other than what they had, other than the dark sky stuff? Oh, well, the other thing obviously is the coastal zone, which they don't have. And is a huge important part of the Madison thing, but we had a pretty good template on that from the Guilford NRI. And I've got a 6 or 8 page intro written up with the different pieces.
Alex and I both took a decent look at the Milford, Connecticut NRI,
okay.
and it's very detailed. And it's definitely worth looking at.
Okay.
I've got it pulled up here and there's some items on here that are, I think, in particularly pertinent considering some of the actions that have already been taken. Yeah.
Are you able to share it? Are you able to
Milford,
share it on the Zoom?
Okay, hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. I'll bring it up.
Oh,
on my
I just-
computer since
I
I'm-
just emailed a link to the Milford one to you
Oh,
all.
okay.
Okay,
So if you can pull it into your email, the link is.
Also in the Google Drive folder.
Oh, Lois?
Milford, Connecticut?
No, doesn't.
Isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
Get it.
hold on, let's see.
John, you look like you're in a hotel.
I am.
Hi, I'm not seeing it, but
Oh,
so,
I apologize. It's not.
so what are some?
That's okay. You said you emailed it, so we can see it that
Yeah.
way.
Well, one of the things that seems to be missing in some of these NRIs is a focus on wildlife. And wildlife, this has a good section on wildlife habitat.
Yeah,
It talks about studying the negative impacts before they make decisions on land use. And I'm thinking about the property just across the street where they leveled and just denuded the land in the springtime. And that absolutely had no consideration to time of the year, to effect on wildlife, to fragmenting tracts of land, and they address that pretty well here under wildlife habitat in the Milford
One, okay,
NRI.
Yeah.
It says here, prevent activities that permanent or isolate habitat, such as clearing the forest, understory, and creation of vast expanses of unnecessary lawn. Well, I know that makes sense. Implement sound forestry policy that protects and enhances biodiversity. And this is a key, require wetland and forest management violators to restore damaged and disturbed areas by replanting with vegetation local to the area and allowing native vegetation to become reestablished. So I think these guys across the street, for one, should, be accountable to that. Define minimum acreage for preservation of native species and minimum widths for wildlife corridors and greenways.
yeah,
And there's a section on open space, and they talk about having basically an open space monitor within the town, enable an open space steering committee to act in a semi-autonomous way in its efforts to acquire significant open space properties in order to eliminate the red tape that leads to a delay and subsequent failure to protect thorough preservation.
oh,
There's a lot of stuff in this. And the geology section is amazing.
okay,
It really is. And a lot of that applies to, we're practically next door to them.
absolutely,
Connecticut geology.
yeah. Although actually, given Connecticut geology, Milford is on another continent.
Oh. Okay.
Because the state of Connecticut has proto-Africa, proto-North America, and a squished ocean in the middle. For bedrock.
Oh.
So.
Well, it does
so yeah.
fascinate.
Yeah, okay, so
And they-
I'll take a look at that one too.
Yeah, they even recommend appointing a full-time open space land manager with the expertise to oversee all.
Yeah, Milford has a tax base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you.
Well, it would be nice if they could give this group and inland wetlands the authority to make sure that planning and zoning is doing some of this, some of the recommendations. Otherwise, why are we doing this?
Well, if we get this out, then we will have that much more. And this should lead into an open space plan. That will be our next thing after the NRI is done. We'll be building 70% of the open space plan just by putting the NRI together. Okay.
One other comment, Heather, you asked what else should be on the list, and I think, like each of the examples had their own categories. I mean, most of them were the same, but a little bit different. But in the Sherman one, they did list, they had a list of notable trees. And to your point, Terry, they also listed out that birds that have been seen or heard, fish, butterflies, amphibians, trees, flowering plants. So again, quite detailed, but natural resource inventory is kind of going all in.
Right. I wonder how they collected that information about what had been seen.
Audubon, they got people out in the springtime and in the fall, they're
Yeah.
counting numbers and they
And
ask people to submit that. That's really
Yeah,
unofficial.
that's,
but-
I'm just,
Yeah.
not that I don't know that it happens, but I want to know what is the source.
so the other thing that, and I hope she's still got the data because I have no idea how to find it in town. But in the mid 1990s, there was something happening around the state on a regular basis called Biodiversity Day, where somebody, Mononkatuk Audubon would organize to get experts in from every field, the ornithologists, the herpetologists, the ichthyologists, the tree people, the mushroom people. They'd all come into town for 24 hours and document as many different species as they could
That's
find.
amazing.
And so it got, like I said, it got done in Madison in the mid 1990s, and I know the person that organized it. She's still in the area.
What is it called?
It was called Biodiversity Day. and I'm gonna have to go back and look on the stuff from my old computer because it's not on, which is a different database, to
And
see if I
was
can find it.
Who were they affiliated with?
Monocatuk Audubon was the coordinator. And Cindy Kovac actually was the person that organized it. So, if we can get that list, just the list from that, even though it's 30 years old at this point, it's a start. Things that were documented by experts in the town of Madison.
And to Amy's point about notable trees,
Oh,
I think they're updating it for Madison. But I noticed on the Facebook page for Madison or Mad for Trees
yeah,
that Fran posted that there's 2 more trees that they've added to the notable tree list for Connecticut. But I don't know how long that survey goes and how in depth it goes. Does it include just public lands? Or does it include private lands? So I shot him a text just before we started, but we definitely want that in there.
yeah,
Notable trees and to have that current. And we also should have from the town facilities committee, they're putting all that together. So we could know what are all the public lands, because it's pretty
Right.
expensive.
well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that's like when I was looking at the, however they listed on here, yeah, public land, conservation and public lands, I'm like, that needs to be reviewed, because at one point, even the town of Madison didn't know exactly all the parcels that were
I was just
listed for the
thinking,
town
yeah.
of Madison.
I think that's why they're doing it, to try to get a comprehensive list.
Okay, so anything else that anybody can think of that we might want to consider in an NRI? Feeling very productive tonight, thank you.
I just want to add that the difference between the hard copy and what's going to be online.
Mhm.
We can go into way more detail with each subject online rather than what's in the hard copy. You know, all the species of animals, the trees, geological things, yeah. So it'll be basic in the hard copy, and then for online, you'll be able to jump to sections to get it more in depth on each
Right.
subject.
And a lot,
And pictures as well.
right, and I was gonna say, we can put them, as they had in the Clinton one, I was looking at it, and they were like, and here's the link to, and you could just shoot off to, the state site. So we'll definitely want it to be able to do that, I think that would be, pretty, pretty standard at this point. Anything else on the NRIs we reviewed? Else that anybody know?
Anything about
Amy?
extent of population or densities, anything floral. Requesting that in call for proposals.
So say that
Things
again.
like where the density of population's human, you know,
Oh,
different things. Do we want to think in those terms too? Where's the density of population? Where is it? Density of population, maybe certain kinds of other species.
okay,
I'm just trying to think in another way, even though it might be some of the information we already have, but
right.
Now, would that be throughout the history of the town?
or what we have right now, or maybe
Right. Oh, and
so we
so,
could see how much it's
right,
been reduced.
Yeah,
In the-
there used to be a lot of
in the
agriculture.
town, in the
Yes,
natural
exactly.
resource, what was it? Natural resource recreation and cultural resource sections, which Christine worked on. She did talk about some of that, but I do think that it would be really interesting to look at how has the population density moved
And
around.
agriculture, how
Right,
it's
how it's
changed,
moved around, yes.
or
And the fact that we have our highest density of people right in the middle of our most critical natural resources.
Yeah. How about also marshes, how much they've been reduced? over the
Yeah, that's in
years?
the coastal section, absolutely.
Because that I think would be good to show how it's been less and less over time. Maybe that can be very impactful for people. That's what I'm doing
Yeah.
a map like that in my books.
And how the Phragmites have taken over.
The what?
Phragmites.
Well, it's,
What are
that's
those?
one of the tall, the regrowth, the tall
Oh,
reed, yes.
yeah.
Well, one of the ways you can really
Basic.
tell that where the saltwater intrusion is where the Phragmites is dying off. The intersection around Hammonasset, if you look at the edges on the northwest
yeah.
corner, you can actually see into the wetland now, because the Phragmites, there's so much salt water now making it up there, that the Phragmites is dying back.
Yes,
Yeah.
those, I think
Yeah.
those kinds of changes are important
Mhm.
because in the analysis, then one is able to say, this is the percentage of this resource, that resource that has dramatically decreased. And what should we do if we do continue on this path, forecasting what the future will be like,
Mhm.
and therefore we
Yeah.
need to.
One of the things I liked in the way Clinton wrote theirs was they're like you said, if we're gonna have a lot more rain and bigger downbursts, it's really even more important to protect the wetlands because they're storing it and filtering it. If we're gonna have more temperature, if the temperatures are gonna be going up, we need to be protecting our tree canopy for shade purposes. So I like the way they tied a lot of that stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather,
Hmm?
in the area of invasive species, I recently became aware of the tree of heaven
Oh,
issue.
God, yes. Uh-huh.
And how it's taking over, but then I was also notified how they destroy the system of, root system of other trees.
Yes,
And I also was recently informed that,
they're almost
the
impossible to kill.
spotted lanternfly
Oh,
is 7 times greater to lock onto those trees than,
Yes.
they're feeding off of that.
Yes,
So
basically, it's one of their preferred
invasive is
species.
feeding off of
Yes.
another.
Because they came
And
from
they're both
reproducing
bad.
area.
So this guy was commenting, wherever you see a tree of heaven, tree, cut it down. Of
Yes,
course, they're lying all over 95.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see
no,
it
that's
now,
not a problem.
they're-
And I will say that today I was
aren't they?
at the surf club and there was a spotted lanternfly crawling on the sand in front of me. And I'm like, it's like, what is that thing? It looks, is it a crab? Is it a butterfly? And then it spread its wings. It's like, oh.
White spots.
I saw one on top
Very-
of my hummingbird feeder and didn't realize what it was. I flicked it off and it's like, oh shoot, I think that was a spotted one.
So yeah, so that's the sort of information that we need to be publicizing in advance of this as well, but yeah.
Absolutely.
But it needs to be that if we allow one one invasive species to proliferate, they often support the other ones.
Right.
Japanese barberry is a home for all of the invasive ticks.
Yeah,
But barberry is tick habitat. So,
yeah, that, I mean, that's really important. But the tree of heaven, my understanding, you probably know a lot more about this, but is that when the seeds go out and are dispersed by the wind, that's why they're just taking off.
Yes.
Everywhere.
yes, and they also grow, they grow from the seeds, which have, they're like the maple, the Norway maples, which are the 2-winged helicopters, but they're a 1-wing helicopter. It has a really cool name. Samara, that's it, thank you. And.
Don't remember all that common stuff.
And,
35 years ago.
Yeah, but they also spread,
Oh, here.
they also spread by the roots.
Yeah.
So that's, it's like the mugwort, it's the worst of both worlds. And
But they're
They're-
destroying other trees too.
they're allelopathic, so they changed the actual soil chemistry.
Oh.
Right.
So that nothing will live around them. Yeah. So that's like black walnut. Turns out also burning bush is also allelopathic. It
Huh.
changes the soil chemistry. So if you look at them, nothing's growing underneath them. So,
Yeah, that's important info to get out.
yes. Yes, because a lot of people are not realizing why it's so easy to break around their burning bush.
To recognize these things in a picture, like, oh gosh, I got that in my yard. I didn't realize.
Okay, so let's move on from what we think we want in the NRI, since I think we seem to have a pretty good idea, to the discussing of the preparation of an RFP. So people who have done this sort of thing before,
They range in length,
Yes.
that's for sure. Like, I saw some that are of just a couple of pages, 4 or 5 pages, and then some that are 20.
I don't think we need a
One-
20-page
no.
RFP.
No,
I do think that we're probably gonna want to have a couple pages of description and then whatever boilerplate is in the town of Madison.
Yes. They all had that boilerplate about the insurance at the end.
Yep,
But,
and affirmative action and not complicated.
no, we don't have to worry about affirmative action.
What do you mean, was there anything in the Shelton example that you read? That stood out?
Regarding the RFP or?
Oh, no, sorry, I'm backtracking to in the NRI compared to other NRIs.
Oh, just the couple things I noticed. I mean, I just kind of, yeah, noted how each of the 4 or 5 that I looked at organized their categories. And yeah, like I said, just noted the notable trees and the very detailed wildlife lists they shared.
Okay, and those are good.
Yeah.
I want to include those.
So looking at, yeah, I've got a Madison scope of work, so, it looks like there's basically about 2 pages of the thing, and then there is timeline of the process, submission of the statements. And then in this one, there's the scope of service and the other
Yeah.
requirements. Like for this one example, it says firms with experience in forestry management are encouraged to reply. This is for a natural resource inventory and management plan.
Is there an example of an RFP?
Oh,
Yes.
there were, yeah, we had a
Town of Avon.
Avon, Ardsley, Branford, Hurley. They were sent earlier on.
I forwarded an email from Aaron.
Aaron.
It had 4 RFPs attached to it.
So one thing I noticed too was that, I don't know how to say.
Oh, yeah.
The call for proposals asked for information about other towns they have done NRIs for,
Yes.
and I love that.
Okay.
Because then we can check their NRIs and
Right.
see what we like about it. And say, well, okay, we like, if they end up being our finalists, we like
Right.
this, don't like that. So include,
The one for Avon says, areas to address that they were looking at, long and short-term needs in the areas of forest health and aesthetics, active and passive recreation, accessibility, wildlife habitats, fire protection, forest regeneration, environmental education, and protection of fragile areas in the ecosystem. I think that we can skip a couple of those, but I think if we had our list of what are, 5 or 6 things that we are up from this, that we really want them to concentrate on, and they were also saying they actually were addressing the specific areas that they
Are you
wanted.
looking at the purpose section?
I'm looking at the
Okay.
purpose section in the Avon one.
Okay.
And they were actually they listed specific areas that they wanted it to work through, but it's for a forest natural resource inventory update, forest management plan. So. But,
Arts. So, wrong. But they explained, the Ardsley said project description, and they explained they're doing the natural resource inventory as required by the state of Connecticut.
yeah, I also think that in terms of the scope of service, it's collect the data, create a draft, have a public hearing, a public meeting to present it, and then come back with the revisions. And we want to make sure we have that. Not just here.
Yeah, we want them to come back with,
And at least we want
And
at
we
least
have
2 public
questions.
meetings, yes.
yeah. The other thing is, the Ardsley one also lists like, this is what we want in there, land use zoning, municipal buildings, village-owned parcels, historic sites, parks, recreation, downtown business, water bodies, flora, fauna.
Good Lord. But they
So-
spent, that one's spending a lot more time on the built environment than the natural environment.
are,
I
but
think they
they-
would want to go the other way around.
Yeah, we wanna go the other way around.
Yes.
But that's what's good to pay attention
Right.
to is like, look at all those things of, you know, again, water bodies, topography, soil. Well, theirs was, I think, much more extensive.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That might be a plan of conservation and development, not just a NRI. Because in some places, some people are using those to, interchangeably, and they're really not. Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
very, very small part of the planning process, but it's the part we do. So I think if we maybe take the list of topics that we all sort of
Yep.
agreed on, if we take that list and put a purpose with it, I can work with Erin to put together an RFP.
Okay, I've got, yeah, I'm putting some, I have all that.
Is there anything else that we can think of that we want in?
Can we send you an email
Yeah.
within a week? to
Yeah.
Main categories that we think are important?
That's a very good idea.
I mean, because I know a lot's been discussed and,
Yeah.
my head. In its way out that
And
way.
hopefully, hopefully Sophia's taking good enough.
Yeah, I have it.
The good news is, like I was saying before we started, this is all being recorded so that Erin's like, yeah, I can just post it so that you guys can go back and look at it for taking notes or whatever. Yeah,
I've got notes.
yes, I know, you're doing, I'm watching you. But
Then it'll give everybody a chance to follow up and say,
yeah,
I know, I'll put,
anything.
I can put that in the note, like the detailed notes will be separate from the minutes.
Right.
Because the minutes are just generally speaking, but I'll send you all the detailed notes of the things we listed and talked about today, as I recall.
before you go and sit down with Erin to.
Yes.
submit it.
Yeah,
And then we can.
so
provide
yeah,
input.
if everybody
If we
can
see
get me
things that
stuff
are missing that we think are
by,
important.
that'll be.
Yep.
September 3rd, that'll be the
Ooh.
Wednesday.
Okay, everyone remember that?
A due date
Due date for
email reply.
email
back to you.
reply to me things by September 3rd.
Okay,
And just one, I don't know if this is too detailed for the RFP, but one thing, I think again, it was the Sherman NRI that I thought was good is like at the end of each list, they had recommendations.
Okay,
So
Good.
it's like, it's not just an inventory, but it's, whether it's done at the end of every section or, as a conclusion, it just makes it
right,
like more of a
plan.
like a living document, it's not just something like, okay, we got this, I'm gonna put it away. It's,
It's a plan
Yeah.
for the future, not just a historical.
right.
yeah, it's, meant to be referenced and acted upon.
Yeah, we're actually going to have to make sure that it gets, also that it gets integrated with the current plan of conservation and development.
Mhm, mhm.
So we're probably gonna want to have them read that to see which. So,
That's a great input.
yes, so. Okay,
I will send you notes from today, but it will not be grammatically perfect,
that's fine.
okay? Because if you want it soon,
So,
it'll be soon, but
Yes,
not
we'll say-
in perfect order.
my daughter's better at this than I am, but, perfect is the enemy of done, and I need done. Or completed, I guess would be more.
My mantra in grad school was The only good dissertation is a finished dissertation.
Amen.
When is the third? Is that a week?
That's a week from today. Yeah. Um. so- Okay, any more discussion on developing an RFP? Oh, time frame. You know, I'm cautiously and I think Erin was cautiously optimistic that we could maybe get somebody started on the project by December.
Okay,
But it's gotta go through whatever the town process is, but I'm like, if we can get an RFP pulled together,
we
I
can.
don't know who it has to get approved by, but if we can get it pulled together and we approve it next month, then hopefully it can get shoved out wherever. And from there, I would say, what do we think? Are we, do we all want a time frame within it to say we expect it to be done within the year, within 6 months? Do we want to get, if we want them to do field work, it would actually be good to have.
So some of these towns had timelines for everything. I noticed that.
I noticed some in the RFQs. Didn't really notice them as much as.
yeah, one of them, Brantford had notification of award, initial meeting, monthly progress meetings, draft document for review, NRI completion.
Okay, let's begin further, but so with the, oh, they had them do it in basically 9 months. From the
That-
RFP
but that-
issue.
I think if they need more time, we need to let that happen.
I kind of would like to have a hard deadline of a year.
Yeah. That, right,
Cause that way they have the option of getting, 4 seasons worth of data if they need to go on.
Yes. and also things like breeding grounds, what do you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, those are key. That's it. When we look at, especially when you look at the threatened and endangered species.
Should I put that on the list or is
Yeah.
that assumed?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, put that on the list. Breeding and resting, overwintering, very seasonal. Seasonal hotspots, not just that they're here all year round, because,
Migratory.
yeah, migratory, there are things like the 2-week period where all the nighthawks are down at Hammonasset.
There were dolphins in the sound recently.
Oh. I did not see those. I
So-
did, however, I will say, and I was at the surf club and I had a spotted lantern fly in front of me, and then I was
That's
sitting
bad.
at Salt Meadow and a bald eagle flew over my head.
Driving the other day, like, wow.
I was fortunately parked, so I was like, oh my God. So that was very good. I'm sure baldy. Alright, so I will, everybody send me stuff within a week. And then
Okay.
I will, next I will schedule a meeting with Erin for a week from tomorrow. And hopefully we'll have an RFP pulled together, for us to approve at the September meeting.
I will send you these notes Friday, when we say in Arabic, inshallah.
And you can work on them over Labor Day weekend.
Yay,
Labor away.
nice. So, follow up to the Chamber of Commerce opportunities. This is where I say, okay. My skill set is not in contacting people and coordinating this. If there's anybody that would like to talk to the Chamber of Commerce, I've sent out an email and I've done no follow-up. I don't even know if they got it because I never heard back from them, which actually surprises me. So,
And this is about some
Yeah,
event that's
yeah,
happening.
the Madison 200 committee, and then also the idea that Conservation Commission would like to do education and outreach at various chamber events.
We don't have a calendar for those.
We do, they have a website.
They do.
It's linked to the town website. I know there's one coming up like September 14th through 21st.
Oh.
Whatever they have a fall on the green, thing. we missed Sip and Stroll because I was stranded on
Okay.
Long Island. But I really think it's an important opportunity for us, and I'm a real bad asker. So this is me asking.
Okay.
If somebody else could make contact, I would then be happy to talk with the people at the chamber and tell them all our wonderful ideas, but I need somebody to say, really, okay, yes. I'd really like to work with you guys.
You're looking for somebody to be the point person?
Yes.
With chamber
Yes.
versus looking for somebody to participate in the September event.
Correct. Yeah, I'd like somebody to be.
I don't mind participating.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I have enough on my plate.
I can probably do it once I'm a member.
Love that.
Thank you.
To be the point person with chamber?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
That would be awesome. Okay, we will
Well,
pass up a couple opportunities and I'm going to go into Board's Selectman's office and go appoint her.
Yeah.
Sorry for whatever that did to the microphone. Okay,
It's 8:31 and my battery is now on the red zone.
okay, so new business is brainstorming projects for the commission. And welcome back our liaison. How was the first day of school?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
next week.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. That explained why there were so many kids on the beach today. Okay. I was surprised. How's senior year looking?
It's looking interesting.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah, so we have Aubrey as our official liaison to the Eco Club. We also have a former intern who I think you all met at the 4th of July parade, Maya Minto. She was going to be going to Peace Corps in September. They did not finish the processing all of her medical and paperwork stuff, so she's going to be in Madison for the coming year.
oh,
And she would
great.
like to volunteer with us.
That's wonderful.
Great.
So I'm already thinking about how I can stick her on some of this data collection. But I would welcome some brainstorming on things that we can work with at the high school, maybe at some of the other schools, and can put Maya to good use with.
Maya was involved with the 4th of July float.
Yes.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's really motivated.
Yeah, she was the one painting with your daughter, Amy. Yeah.
Yep, totally remember her.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
I mean, because it's 8:30.
Okay, go your same. So does anybody have anything off the top of their head, or
Just
shall
one
we?
question.
What?
When we reply, I noticed some of the things that were on the initial draft that I don't think are correct anymore.
Oh, that's, okay, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely point those out.
Okay.
And it's entirely possible that they were wrong when we first did it too, because they were drafts.
Right.
So yeah, see anything on those drafts that are on the Google Drive, please point them out. You got any thoughts about the coming year?
Well, I got like a list of brainstorms of ideas, but like any ideas from the commission to the Eco Club, just feel free to pass on to me.
Okay, well, if you want me to come to your first meeting, if that's not gonna step on Ms. Bracco's toes, we can, I'd be happy to do that.
Alrighty, I'll keep you posted on when
Okay.
that will be. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good. Okay,
One thing, we were talking about, was it the September thing on the green that we were gonna focus on dark skies? Is that what we were gonna do?
Yes, that's what
Because of the migratories.
yes,
Right.
so that's why I need somebody. I will pull up my big girl pants, and I will call the chamber and say, we really want to be there. On whatever the date is because of the migratory season. And I'm sure they will be perfectly fine, but yes, I have a phone and ask them to live with you.
One more comment,
Mhm.
because we're getting cooler weather.
Yep.
That's when the rodents, like the mice, are gonna come in the house.
Yeah.
And when people see mice in their house, they put out
Kill 'em.
poison. And when they put out poison
Yeah.
and the
Okay.
predators eat it, then the predators either die or they get sick and they
Right.
get, the foxes and the coyotes get mange. So that's another key thing with this cooler weather that I would really like to spread the word across the shoreline, because there's a lot of wildlife being affected.
Yep.
By secondary poisoning.
Yeah, if you want to throw together a draft of a 300-word letter to the editor,
Sure.
we can definitely put that in.
With Conservation Commission.
Bay Conservation Commission, and that there are alternatives. Because
300
like, for
words.
example, the church, North Madison Church has just said we're not putting out bait boxes anymore.
Oh,
There's
that's
a
awesome.
large family bucket with a ramp in the kitchen, which scares the heck
Right,
out of
but
me,
they
but.
drown.
Well, that works.
Yeah.
But also there's this contraceptive bait
Right,
Yeah.
that is more than 90% effective.
Could I make a motion to adjourn?
okay. Do I have a second?
Also.
Okay, all in favor? Yeah, okay. Y'all can, I guess that means I'm gonna turn off the meeting, but is there anything else anybody wants to say before we see you all? So in
Thank-
1 week, yeah, otherwise.
Thank you.
Good night.
List of categories and campaign ideas.
Yes, categories and campaign ideas, awesome. Thank you all so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye, guys.
Bye. My brother's son.
So they have.
And you want to say, I'm in jail.
Like a friend.
Yeah.